Welcome back to Historic Icons, the series where we explore the lives of the most influential figures in history. Today, we're diving into the brilliant, radiating life of a woman who changed the world forever, Marie Curie, the scientist who glowed with discovery. Imagine a world where the very building blocks of the universe were still a profound mystery, a world where women were largely excluded from the halls of science. Into this world stepped a young Polish woman named Maria Skłodowska, whose insatiable curiosity and relentless determination would not only shatter glass ceilings but also redefine our understanding of physics and chemistry. This is the story of her incredible journey, her groundbreaking discoveries, and the legacy that continues to shine brightly today. Born in Warsaw in 1867, Maria was the youngest of 5 children. Her parents were both educators who instilled in her a deep love for learning. From a young age, she was exceptionally bright, with a sharp mind and an astonishing memory. However, her path was not an easy one. At that time, Poland was under Russian rule, and opportunities for women in higher education were non-existent. But Maria and her sister Bronisława made a pact. Maria would work as a governess to support Bronisława's medical studies in Paris, and once her sister was established, she would help Maria in return. For years, Maria toiled, saving every penny, her dream of studying in Paris burning like a constant flame. Finally, in 1891, at the age of 24, her moment arrived. She moved to Paris and enrolled at the prestigious Sorbonne. Life was a struggle. She lived in a drafty attic, often surviving on little more than bread and tea, sometimes fainting from hunger. But her passion for knowledge was all the fuel she needed. She poured herself into her studies, excelling in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. It was here, in the vibrant intellectual heart of Paris, that she adopted the French version of her name, Marie. In 1894, Marie's life took another fateful turn. She was looking for a larger laboratory space and was introduced to a respected French physicist named Pierre Curie. They quickly discovered a shared passion for science that was as intense as their personal connection. He was captivated by her brilliance and dedication. In his own words, it would be a beautiful thing to unite their lives and their work. They married a year later, embarking on a scientific partnership that would become legendary. Their collaboration began in a humble, poorly ventilated shed that served as their laboratory. It was here they would make history. Inspired by Henri Becquerel's recent discovery of mysterious rays emitted by uranium, Marie decided to make these Becquerel rays the subject of her doctoral thesis. Using an electrometer developed by Pierre and his brother, she began meticulously measuring the faint electrical currents produced by uranium compounds. She made a revolutionary observation. The intensity of the radiation depended only on the amount of uranium present, not its chemical form. This led her to a bold hypothesis. The radiation was coming from within the atom itself. This was a radical idea that challenged the long-held belief that atoms were indivisible and unchangeable. Her investigation didn't stop there. She tested other elements and discovered that thorium also emitted these strange rays. She coined a new term for this phenomenon, radioactivity. But the most exciting discovery was yet to come. Marie noticed that a mineral called pitchblende, a source of uranium, was far more radioactive than pure uranium itself. This could only mean one thing. There had to be another, undiscovered element within the pitchblende, one that was thousands of times more radioactive. Pierre, recognizing the monumental importance of her work, set aside his own research to join her quest. What followed was a Herculean task. They obtained tons of pitchblende waste from a mine and began the grueling process of chemical separation. For 4 years, they worked tirelessly in their shed, stirring boiling cauldrons of the black ore, enduring extreme temperatures and exposure to unknown dangers. It was physically demanding, painstaking work. Their perseverance paid off. In July 1898, they announced the discovery of a new element, which Marie named polonium in honor of her beloved homeland. But they knew there was another. By December of the same year, they had isolated a second element, one that glowed faintly in the dark with an eerie blue light. They named it radium, from the Latin word for ray. Isolating a pure sample of radium was an even greater challenge, taking Marie another 4 years of relentless effort. But she did it. In 1903, the world recognized their monumental achievement. Marie Curie, alongside her husband Pierre and Henri Becquerel, was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for their joint research on radiation phenomena. Marie became the first woman in history to win a Nobel Prize. Initially, the Nobel Committee had intended to honor only Pierre and Becquerel, but Pierre insisted that Marie's foundational role be recognized. She was the driving force behind the discovery, and he would not accept the prize without her. Their discovery of radioactivity opened up a completely new field of science and transformed our understanding of matter and energy. But their newfound fame came with a heavy price. The public was fascinated by radium, and the Curies were hounded by the press. Their health was also beginning to suffer from years of radiation exposure, though the full dangers were not yet understood. Tragedy struck in 1906. Pierre was killed in a street accident, leaving Marie devastated and alone with two young daughters, Irene and Eve. In a world that expected her to retreat into widowhood, Marie did the unthinkable. She stepped up to take Pierre's professorship at the Sorbonne, becoming the first female professor in the university's history. She poured her grief into her work, determined to continue the scientific legacy they had built together. She went on to establish the Radium Institute in Paris, a world-class research center for chemistry, physics, and medicine. Her work continued to break new ground, and in 1911, she achieved the unimaginable. She was awarded a second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, for her work in isolating pure radium and determining its atomic weight. This made her the first person, and to this day, the only person to win Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields. When World War I broke out, Marie Curie once again demonstrated her ingenuity and humanitarian spirit. Recognizing that X-rays could help surgeons locate shrapnel and bullets in wounded soldiers, she developed mobile radiography units. These vehicles, nicknamed Petites Curies or Little Curies, were equipped with X-ray machines powered by generators. Marie, along with her teenage daughter Irene, drove these units to the front lines, teaching doctors and nurses how to operate them and helping to treat over 1 million soldiers. She was a hero not just in the lab, but on the battlefield as well. After the war, Marie continued her research and traveled the world to raise funds for her Radium Institute. She became a global icon for science and a powerful advocate for women in STEM. Her hands, scarred and burned from decades of handling radioactive materials, were a testament to her dedication and the personal sacrifices she made for discovery. Marie Curie died in 1934 from aplastic anemia, a condition almost certainly caused by her prolonged exposure to radiation. She had carried vials of radium in her pockets, unaware of the deadly power she had unleashed. Her notebooks are still so radioactive today that they are stored in lead-lined boxes and can only be handled with protective clothing. Marie Curie's legacy is immeasurable. She not only discovered 2 new elements and founded the science of radioactivity, but she also paved the way for nuclear physics and cancer therapy. Radium became a crucial tool in fighting tumors, saving countless lives. More than that, her life story is a powerful testament to the human spirit's capacity for curiosity, resilience, and courage. She defied the conventions of her time and proved that, with passion and perseverance, anything is possible. Her glowing legacy continues to inspire scientists, dreamers, and especially young women around the world to pursue their own discoveries, no matter the odds. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the life of Marie Curie. If you were inspired by her story, please hit that like button, subscribe to Historic Icons, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next episode. We'll see you next time.